Hello friends, my gratitude and appreciation to you for taking your time to check into this video. See, on completion of writing your research report, the next headache is or will be compilation of references. Preparation of reference list is time consuming and require deep concentration, and the right step must be meticulously followed because each and every element or details in the reference is equally significant and important. All right. However, there are different type or style of referencing. But in this video, we are going to see how to write correct references using APA style. Okay. So in order to minimize complexity and confusion and maximize your understanding of APA style of referencing, in this first video on APA style of referencing, we are going to see how sources cited from journals or theses or a dissertation are correctly referred in the reference list. Okay, so before we start, make sure you grab your pen and your paper, and most important, you know about in-text citations and its types. All right. This is how the framework will look, because I will show you both how will the reference look in the reference list as well as in the in-text citation. So NC will be for narrative citation, where the author's name is incorporated in the sentence, okay, and it is followed by year within parentheses, whereas in the case of a parenthetical citation, the author's name and the year of publication of the work is at the end of the sentences. Okay, and we also will come across the word DOI and URL. Okay, so DOI is actually is like the identity of an article in the web, and okay, whereas the URL is the address of the article in the web. Okay, so just for your information, here is a picture of the article published, and here is how well an DOI looks like. So to begin with, let's say if you cite your work from a journal article, and journal article can be single author. Okay, and if so, this is how it will appear in text citation, and the style of reference will follow the format that I have simplified for you. Okay, all right, so this is how it will appear in text, and this is how it will be in the reference list. Okay, so remember, just for simplicity and for understanding, let's put in this video, let's assume that the any author, okay, the first author will be Tom Cruise, second author will be Amitabh Bachchan, and third author will be Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Okay, just for example, just for understanding. So because in references, in text citations, you only give the last name. So let's say in case of one author, here, if in case of the first author here is Tom Cruise. So this will be Cruise and the year in which it is published. Okay, Cruise and the year in which it is published. So in this case, it will be Cruise, comma, E dot and the year of publication of the article and the title of the article and the journal name in italics, then separated by comma, and then volume, and in within parentheses the issue, and again separated by comma, and then start page to the end page. Okay, and if it's an online, you have to give an DOI if there is any. Okay, the digital object identifier. Okay, in case if there's DOI, you have to put the DOI link just after the end page. Okay, if there's no DOI, then you start with use the URL, the address of the article, by following these steps here. Okay, in some cases you'll see that there are some journal they assign article numbers, okay, to each articles. Okay, so therefore instead of inserting here in inserting the page number, okay, you just put the word article here and then add the article number instead of the page range. All right. Okay, just follow this step, then everything will be easy. Similarly, what if in the case of an article you cite is a two-author journal article? Okay, so this is how it will appear in the in-text citation. Okay, the first author last name in our example is Cruz, and the second author last name is Bachchan. So Cruz and Bachchan and the year. Okay, in a narrative citation, and in parenthesis a parenthetical citation, it will be cruise, and you have to use the epsilon and the Bachchan, comma, year. Okay, so similar here, it will be cruised, comma, T, okay, full stop, comma, and Bachchan, comma, A, full stop, then year and title of the article, okay, that you cited, and the journal name in italics, and similarly, the volume, the issue will follow, and page number and the end page. Okay, here also, if it is an online version, you can keep the DOI immediately after the end page, and if there's no DOI, then you can keep the URL. Okay, all right. But if it is a printed version, okay, then you can just keep it from right from the author's name up to the page name only. Okay, and similarly here also, if there's any article number assigned by the journal to each articles, then you have to insert the article word article right after the issue, the article number instead of the page numbers. Okay. Similarly, now if you have more than three or more than two authors, what will happen? If you have more than two authors, let's say here three authors, for example, okay. So in text, this is how it will appear. In the in-text citation, you only use the word Cruz et al. Dot in the comma in within parentheses the year. Okay, the other rest you don't give their last name. Only the first author last name will be kept in in-text citation. And similarly, in parenthetical citation, it will be Cruz et al. Full stop, comma, year. All right. So in this case also it will be cruised, okay, comma, T, okay, full stop dot, Bachchan, comma, and then let's say then Bachchan A, and then let's say there are three, then it will be comma again, and you'll use the word and, okay, and there's B, Dhoni, okay, then M dot and S dot, and then the year of publication, title of the article, the journal names in italics, and the volume, issue, start page, and similarly, if it is an online, you put the DOI. If there's no DOI, keep the URL. Okay, and if it has an article name, similarly like that of the journal 1, journal 2. Okay. Now sometimes you'll come across that there are journals which publish only the abstracts. Okay, and let's say you cited something from the abstract of the journal which is published. So in that case, again, if it's one author, you'll follow the same procedure. If two authors, you'll follow the same procedure. And if it is three authors also, you'll follow the same procedure as already mentioned earlier. Okay, but here in the reference list, it'll appear like the same. Okay, let's say in case of two authors, it'll be the cruise, comma, T dot, comma, and Bachchan, comma, A dot, year, title of the article. But here within the square bracket, you have to write abstract from the source name. You have to fill from where. From where is that sources that you cite the work about on. Okay, so you have to insert the abstract from, and the journal name will be in italics, and similarly followed by the volume, the issue, start page, and end page. Okay, and similarly DOI and URL will be used in case of its online publications. Okay, so therefore, but it's always preferable to use the full whole article instead of an abstract only, but only in certain cases where you will find that you won't get the full article, so you have no choice but to use the information from the abstract and then you incorporate into your works, and in such cases this is how you have to use the references. All right. So now what if case of a monograph? Okay, in case of a monograph which is published in an article, then similarly, okay, this will differ. If it's one author will follow the same procedure. If it's two authors follow this procedure. If it's more than two authors will be more than two will follow the et al. Okay, in text citation. However, here also will be the same initial last name. Okay, all this will float cruised T dot, comma, and Bachchan, uh, comma, A dot, year published, title of the article will be the same, but here within the square bracket you have to write it is a monograph, and then you write the journal names and the volume and the issue, start page and end page, and similar will be here. Okay, there will be slight differences only here and there, but these are all equally important, as I said from the beginning. Okay, so you have to remember that. All right, For in some cases, you'll find a monograph with serial number, include it in the parenthesis after the issue number. Okay, just like that of the article number. If it is a monograph which have a serial number, you remove the page number and then insert the monographs or serial number after the issue number. Okay. Now let's say you cited your work from any particular thesis or any dissertation. Okay. This is how it will appear if you cite your work from a published thesis. Okay. So in a thesis, obviously, a thesis will be always be a one-person work, isn't it? So therefore, you have to keep the author's last name. Okay, let's say it is the thesis which is published by Tom Cruise. Okay, so it'll be Cruise and the year is how it will appear in the in-text citation, and then this is how it will appear in the parenthetical citation if you cite it from the thesis. Okay, so now for reference here, how it will appear, it will be Cruise, comma, T dot, and the year in which the thesis was published, and the title of the thesis will always be in italics. Okay, and if it is a master dissertation or a UG dissertation or a PhD thesis, then you'll have to choose one. Okay, let's say it is a PhD thesis, you write PhD thesis, comma, and the university name from where the thesis was published. Okay, so just remember, a thesis is always, like it said here, a thesis is considered to be published when it is available from a database. Okay, for example, in India, it's from Shoot Ganga where you'll find your thesis is available online. Okay, all right. Then in case there are some cases where you'll find that some theses have been given some kind of a publication number, just like that of an article number, and then immediately after the title, okay, after the title, you keep the application number within parentheses, but not in italics. Okay, all right. So if there's an URL for the thesis which is already published, then you insert it immediately after the university name. Okay. Now, what happened if you have cited a work from some unpublished thesis or a dissertation? Okay, but you found that okay, that work is relevant, and then you can use it in your write-up. Okay, so this is how it will appear when you cite it and in the text citation, and this is how it will appear in the reference list. The author's last name, author initials, the year of publication, thesis of the title of the thesis will be always in italics, and you have to write within the square bracket unpublished master dissertations or maybe the unpublished PhD thesis. And this will be square bracket closed, full stop, and the university name. Okay. So if you follow these steps that I have shown to you here, I have simplified it, and I believe you will never regret after watching this video. And if you note them down, and I am sure that you will find it much easier to prepare the reference list if you follow this the step that I've shown you in this presentation here. Okay, so with this is the reference which I used. All right, so with this I'd like to say thank you, and thank you so much for your attention, and I hope this video will ease your work and how to write correct references if you cite your work from a journal or from a thesis. Okay, and after this there'll be 3 other videos related to the APA style of referencing, where we cite a work. If you cite your work from, say, from a books, from magazine, from newspaper, and so on and so forth. So please kindly do check the other 3 videos with reference to the APA style of referencing as well. Thank you so much once again, and then God bless.